want you to get full figure here because my mom has never seen me wear these boots before, okay?
Jay.
Can you need a background?
Oh, yeah, fine.
See the boots? Okay.
All right, do the Michael Jackson's moonwalk. Yeah.
Anyway, what's today's date?
I don't know.
4th? August 4th. Saturday night, Friday night. Dress up and go club. But, unfortunately, yeah. So we're not staying there any longer. We're going to go to bed. I didn't leave that. Anyway. Same thing happened to me when I sat down and talked to the team. Didn't know what to say. But I don't care. Let's just put together that anyway. That's what you want. What should I say? Let's do it. Let's do it.
You're old lady.
What?
You're old lady.
No, and yeah, well, this is the whole video I've been making. What did you have? Code 4?
I'm rolling, okay? I'm rolling.
Anyway, these are my friends. This is my house. This is my planet. This is where I live. Really stupid, but that's okay. I just finished doing some laundry. Yeah. And one of those things that I do tomorrow. Wake up early, got my breakfast. Got set to watch. Anyway, I think that's enough.
Fade.
Wait.
Wait.
Series on the challengers of VC-10. Our first segment examines the missions of VC-10 and why their pilots enjoy flying every day in a communist country. The primary mission for VC-10 is working with the Fleet Training Group to provide air warfare training for visiting ships. The challengers fly missile profiles to give radar operators experience and take on carrier-based aircraft for air combat training. When VC-10 is not training the fleet, they work on the secondary mission of base defense. The pilots especially enjoy this part of their training because it allows them to work with live ordnance.
This week I had 2 bomb hops in the pop-up pattern. That's where we go real low and then we'll pop up, acquire the target, and come down and pickle the bombs. And immediately, once we've dropped all our bombs, we head out to the warning area and we do intercepts. You won't get that anywhere else in the Navy. This is some of the best flying. You'll hear it from the senior pilots, and they say it's the best flying you'll ever have in your naval career.
As an ex-attack pilot, I enjoy bombing and, of course, the opportunity to do defensive combat maneuvering. And being in Guantanamo, the weather is always virtually superb for flying.
The clear skies and relatively good weather above Guantanamo Bay enhances enjoyment of their trade. There's very little air traffic, and only the occasional transport plane can keep VC-10 from their appointed mission.
This airspace is so convenient to bomb. It's fun. You don't have to go any far. You can fight out there. You really don't have to worry too much about people getting in your way. You watch out for safety, but you don't have to worry about a bunch of civilian planes or anything like that. It's really unique down here in that you do the flying for the mission, and that's basically it.
That's one of the advantages to the Guantanamo training area for ships is that we can start operating with them virtually as soon as they leave the harbor.
The TA-4J aircraft used by VC-10 are 20 years old. In part 2 of our series, we'll go to the hangar and see the teamwork that keeps the Challengers in the air. Began a 3-part series on the Challengers of Fleet Composite Squadron 10. Our first segment examined the missions of VC-10 and why their pilots enjoy flying every day in a communist country. Tonight we visit the hangar and the ground crews that keep the pilots flying. The pilots and personnel that make up Fleet Composite Squadron 10 come and go, but the planes they fly remain. The job of keeping 20-year-old TA-4J aircraft up takes teamwork. Currently, 75% of VC-10's aircraft is available for use, which is well above the airland goal.
The older the aircraft is, the more maintenance man-hours required per flight hour, so it is a big challenge to them. And additionally, they have the supply problem. But I have confidence in our people that they can keep the aircraft up if we can get the parts to them.
It's about like maintaining an antique with what little we have down here, so it's a good feeling to see them take off and cross countries and return knowing that you've done your job and done it well.
20 years of sun and salt corrosion can take its toll on aircraft. Corrosion control is an all-hands event, and in a recent corrosion audit, VC-10 received a grade of outstanding.
When people come down here to see us, the appearance of the plane is what they see first. And if the planes don't look good, you know, we don't look good.
Safety and pride in their work are two things stressed by Challenger ground crews. Winning the Chief of Naval Operations Safety Award is proof of their excellent record. And watching the planes go up and return proves they've done their job right.
Seeing the aircraft leaving, and most important, seeing them coming back, and the pilots say, it's good to go. Ready to fly next to go. That's the satisfaction I get.
Job satisfaction is also achieved when a safety system that cannot be physically tested, like the ejection seat, works.
You know, we do certain inspections on them at certain intervals, and they can't be tested in any way, but when they work and the pilots get out alive, it really makes you feel good, you know.
Recently, Lieutenant J.G. Philip Brown had to depend on this survival system.
For a second there, when you think that you're about to die, like I did for a second, then the only way you got out is that seat. And when you pull, you get a slight delay because everything seems to slow down. But when it worked and you feel the kick to take you out up the rails, that's the best feeling in the world.
Plane captains work directly with the pilot on the flight line. Following a pre-flight check, the pilot is secured in the cockpit and the A4 is started.
VC-10 has certain demands to upheld, and we have to make sure that the aircraft is ready, the inspections are updated, and that things goes all right. It's our responsibility.
Most plane captains are non-rated personnel straight from boot camp. By working on the flight line, the Airedale gains a broad knowledge of the aviation community and is better able to choose a career path. In part 3, we'll take a closer look at why both officers and enlisted call VC-10 a squadron-sized family. And featuring a series on the men and women who call themselves the VC-10 Challengers. As we conclude our series, you'll see why they call themselves a squadron-sized family. Working together to keep VC-10's aircraft flying is only part of the job. Learning valuable skills and working with experienced people is part of the daily routine for the Challengers.
You work with some good people, there's good people working the shop, and it just kind of becomes a big family, and that's what VC-10 is really, it's just a big family with a squadron this size.
VC-10 it just seems, honestly, it seems to be getting better every time. We just had a change of command about 2 months ago, and we've noticed a noticeable change there too. Both the skippers have been really good. Both are good pilots, and for us as junior officers, we're doing nothing but gaining valuable experience.
Watching out for a shipmate extends beyond the flight line. When a member of VC-10 is in need, the squadron pulls together to lend a hand.
Anytime we have an emergency leave or something like that, usually the hat is passed around, and we may pick up as much as $500 to give the individual. So it is a family feeling at VC-10. It's a tight-knit group of people.
VC-10's high rate of aircraft availability and excellent safety record is a direct reflection of the professionalism in the shops, on the flight line, and in the cockpit.
We have an outstanding group of sailors, and they know what they're doing with their job. They do the job well, and they're all self-starters. So you know, there's not a lot of command pressure on them to perform because they perform from within themselves.
And that is our report for Thursday, August 11th.